The big mistakes of the so-called Kabbalah that's sold on the internet are that people come to wrong conclusions and those actually harm their spiritual side. My criticism is not against the people who are searching for the truth, who are trying to understand how God runs his world. It's not against them. My criticism is more towards this system that the social media Kabbalah gurus have invented, these influencers, these experts in programming, I don't know what else, linguistics. My criticism is directed at them because they have sold Kabbalah as if it were a marketplace, Kabbalah by the kilo, and they have caused people to start reaching these kinds of conclusions, as you will see in this dialogue below. Now, in this dialogue, what you'll see is a person who is a Christian who is trying to justify his Christian belief through Kabbalah. This isn't new, it has existed since the Middle Ages. And in the video, I mentioned people who did this in the Middle Ages, like Pico della Mirandola and so on. My point with all this is that if someone wants to study authentic Torah without so much speculation, they should join study groups that have rabbinical approval. For example, the World Noahide Center, which is endorsed by the great rabbis of Israel and is based in Jerusalem, instead of buying into the stories of influencers on social media who have no supervision and simply improvise. Personally, there are parts of Kabbalah I dislike, like its statements about non-Jews, referring to them as shogesh klipat atumah. Anyway, I'm not going to go too deep into that, but test your Kabbalah teachers. Don't just believe stories, and now go ahead and watch the dialogue. And please, if you want something authentic, join those of us who are under supervision, where rabbis are checking our pages, reviewing the topics we teach, and we have their approval, not people who are just improvising on social media. Greetings.
I study Kabbalah. I have a pioneering Kabbalah school on YouTube. And what I do is look for Yeshua in the Torah. So I'm going to start teaching classes about that. And I want you to give your opinion about what I'm going to start saying.
If you want, I can give my opinion. Do you already have an example, like in Bereshit?
The word Bereshit, which was translated as in the beginning. And inside Bereshit is Yeshua. In many ways, first Bereshit, the letter bet. Bet means in, and what comes next is the word Rosh. In the head, bet, Rosh. So I'm pronouncing it differently. It's Bereshit, but bet in Rosh, in the head. And then comes Yud Taf, Yeshua, the word or the cross, if you want to see it that way, because the Taf is a cross. We also know that one.
But wait, explain that last part to me. On the head, Yud of the Father.
Was Yeshua on the cross, or Yeshua the word on the head of whom? Of the Father?
But where does it say Yeshua?
Not there, the Yud with the Taf. You see, Yeshua.
You say that just because the word has a Yud, it means it's Yeshua.
And also Israel, that's where HM Israel comes from.
That's what I was gonna say. What if it's Israel, huh?
Yes, Shem, Ayin Israel. I mean the name with the Ayin, Yeshua Israel, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai, Yihad. I mean, in the end, Israel, or I understand why Israel, right? A large part of Israel doesn't believe in Yeshua because they Israel, you guys.
And also...
But...
Wait, I just want to ask you about the first one to understand more, because what you're trying to say seems innovative to me about in the head, Begosh, in whose head? It's not clear to me.
The idea of Yeshua was in the Father's mind.
The word in the mind of God, Jesus, cross.
The word, or on the cross, okay. Now, the event of Yeshua on the cross, the Yud with the Taf, because the Taf means word and cross, one of its many meanings, its mark, sign, and everything. But...
And why couldn't the Yud be Israel?
Yes, also in the Shema Israel, it's Shema Israel, listen Israel, but Shema is Shem. Ayin, the name with the Ayin, Yeshua, Israel, I mean Yud K, Vav K.
The Ayin in Shema is from Yeshua. Also, yes.
That Ayin belongs to the Ayin of Yeshua.
It's a name.
The name 70, that is the name 70, Shem Ayin is something like that. Besides, it's the Shem that reached the 70 nations, that is. Yeshua reached the 70 nations.
So,
it means Yeshua, it means Yud, Shem, Vav, Ayin, it's Yeshua. The Yud is Yeshua of Israel. Does he destroy the Vav, the beam in people's eyes? Is it Yeshua who removes or destroys the beam that others have in their eyes?
I'll be honest with you. I think you can come up with a lot of things like that. I can pull out, though I don't want to say out of thin air. But a lot of explanations like that, for example, Bereshit, I could say it means, let's say, it could also mean wild or pure, but wild. Then the word Esh, fire, it's a wildfire, and then the Yud, that Jesus is a wildfire, and that's why they crucified him, because he was wild. Let's see.
I study Kabbalah. Kabbalah is dedicated to extracting numerologies and doing all this kind of thing where this word means this and this is the acronym for that. And that's how the whole Bible is. The whole Bible is like a succession of names, of a name of God or names of God. And so many Kabbalists take a verse as an example. They take the initial of each word from a verse or a psalm and meditate on it as a Kabbalistic meditation. So, if they do all those Kabbalistic tricks to reach certain conclusions, why can't I do all that to reach other conclusions?
Exactly. I didn't want to use such a strong word as you did, but trick, no, it just came to my mind. I didn't want to say it, but you said it very appropriately. No.
It's a trick.
I can also say any trick and I can make up whatever I want. And who's going to refute me? And my way of supporting myself is, oh, don't you see that the Kabbalist does it too? Don't you see this too? What I'm getting at is that anyone can say things that aren't there. I mean, you can see whatever you want. For example, AIN is also from the god Ra, the Egyptian god Ra. So listen, god Ra, the name Ra. So that's why we have to follow the god Ra from Egyptian mythology. No, because AIN is from RA. No, who said that? No.
AIN is from RA, but it's not in Israel. That's why there's no evil in Israel.
But it is in Shema. In the word Shema, it's Shem, and then Ain, you said it yourself, Shema, and the Ain is like you said, the Ain. In the end, since Yeshua has an Ain, then let's say it's the Ain that's in Shema. Since RA has an Ain, let's say it's the Ain. So should we believe in RA? Or then, no, let's say that the Yud refers to the Caesar of Justino, Julius Caesar, Julius, maybe then in the beginning, Julius Caesar, this and that. So, I mean, we can make up anything.
What I think is that each letter, or one of the things I believe is that from each letter, everything emanates. So, a call is coming in, and now it's inconvenient. What I believe is that from each letter, all the words that start with that letter emanate. And in fact, when you look in a dictionary, the letter A is the first word that appears there, and then all the words that start with A follow in alphabetical order, then the letter B. So, does that mean that all the words emanate from the first letter? Well, you can see it that way. You can see it that way. All the words emanate from the first letter. That is Yeshua, it is Israel, and it is my name, and Ariel too.
And it is Julius.
And it is Julius Caesar.
And it is also Jacob.
Jacob.
Me, any name. I mean, what I'm getting at is that here's one of my main criticisms of Internet Kabbalah, not about you, but the so-called teachers, though I won't name anyone. And also some of them are even rabbis, actually just a couple, maybe 3 of them online. And they teach what people think is Kabbalah. And as you mentioned, that the goal of Kabbalah is to make permutations with names. That's not the goal of Kabbalah. But people believe it is. And what happens is, no.
That's the goal, that it's used?
Well, that's what they do. That's what Kabbalah is about. But that's not what Kabbalah is about. But let's say no. In any case, my main criticism is that the problem with these Kabbalah coaches and senseis and Kabbalah teachers and Kabbalah scholars, they claim to know Kabbalah, but supposedly can't read a single sentence in Aramaic, even though the source is in Aramaic. And my main criticism is that teaching things that aren't true, like formulas from a pseudoscience, leads to being able to reach any conclusion and make up anything. Examples like what you're saying, what you're trying to do. Pico della Mirandola already existed. That's what we're talking about. When the Zohar was released, early Christians were impressed and began searching for references to Jesus in it. Pico della Mirandola is an example for those who want to Google it. So if Pico della Mirandola came to such extravagant conclusions in texts where that wasn't the intention, I'm not surprised that people try to do the same thing today. In fact, in the introduction to Namanidi's commentary on the Torah, it starts with what you said, that the entire Torah is a name of God and it depends on how you divide it. So from there, they latched on to say things that aren't part of the tradition. What is Kabbalah? The word Kabbalah means tradition, that is, something received exactly. If a person didn't receive it and is transmitting something they didn't receive, then it's not Kabbalah, but rather an invention, because Kabbalah is received. That is, it's a tradition from many years ago. I'm not going to say that it is.
I have an experience where I say it was the Lord who revealed it to me, and just out of nowhere. Some information appeared that when I went to verify it, I didn't know where it had come from. It was just as it came to me. That's going to be a class that I'm going to give. I don't want to reveal it yet.
Yes, and that's one of the big problems with Kabbalah. People came and said, like Isaac's grandfather, Saginauer, who said, Elijah revealed this to me and revealed that to me. And that's how they created what we know today as this. Well,
I received something.
Yes, I mean, I don't want to... how can I say it? I don't want it to sound bad. But just like there are people in Indonesia who have revelations with the monkey god. Revelations happen in all religions, all experiences happen, all religions have their, let's say, revelations. Yes, you understand me, so that's why I don't rely much on revelations. Personally, I rely on the tradition of the sages of Israel, on what has been transmitted to us for millennia, and not so much on what is, let's say, what it says or doesn't say. Well, but I'm not saying it about you, okay? I'm saying it as a general phenomenon, okay?
I don't take anything personally.
So...
Jacob, look, is Judaism represented?
If you don't mind, I'd like to bring more people up since this topic is interesting, and I'd like to hear from more members as well.
Of course. Well, shalom.
Shalom, a strong greeting, shalom.